Bowman. I'm one of the HRT contest winners, and I'm here to tell you about my experience with the HRT program. Well, Steve and I had already been doing the program prior to the contest actually beginning. We were talking to Tom and a lot of the other animal representatives on the forums, and it was announced through there. So that's where we originally found out about it. Initially, I was actually very skeptical of the program. It's very low volume, which is not something I had done before. And I was pretty close. I've always been pretty close-minded about my training techniques. I always just stuck to old school training principles, and that's all I would ever do. I just felt like it worked then, it will work now. So this was a new thing for me. The program was laid out very thoroughly on Bodybuilding.com, which also made me skeptical, because whenever I tend to look at a workout program, see the lifts, and just go by that. Nutrition, supplements are usually things that I just kind of throw to the wayside. In HRT, that was not the case. It couldn't be the case. I needed to know what I should be eating. I needed to know how much I should be resting. I needed to know about stretches and injury prevention, because this is definitely one of the most difficult training styles I have ever done. And the article really laid that out very well. And my first time in the gym with HRT, it was miserable. Actually, it was pretty embarrassing. I had to lower a lot of my weights. I had never done something that was so challenging for me to do, because the form it's a difficult program, and the Hellcentric reps are actually very difficult to do. I would say it took us about 3 or 4 weeks to really get the technique down. We started to learn each other's training styles, and Steve and I are each motivated in different ways in the gym, and we started to really learn that about each other and really be able to communicate and talk while we were lifting, and the spotter would guide whoever was lifting at the time. But it took us about 3 to 4 weeks to really get the technique down. I was definitely stuck at 150 pounds for most of my lifting career. I hit that plateau and I never was able to break through it for probably about a year. I was stuck at 150. And HRT was something that was completely different for me, but it really helped me to bust through that, because not only was I lifting at an intensity that I had never done before, I was also eating 6 meals a day and following the strict diet laid out for me by Tom, and there's a lot of tips on the nutritional page on the HRT article, and it was definitely something that it really taught me the importance of diet, because it's absolutely necessary in this program, or you might pass out when you're benching. It's true, but I would just say that I went from 150 to 165, even though I originally just wanted to get to 160, that was my goal. My back has always been one of my strongest body parts, so that's where I see always the most dramatic change. Now, everything increased. From the beginning of HRT to the end of HRT, all of my lifts were noticeably higher than where they were before I started doing the program. For example, on my T-bar rows, I used to do T-bars at 75, for a working set, which is pathetic. But then near the end of HRT, I had 135 for my 4th working set. It was no problem. I saw growth that I'd never seen in myself before. I would recommend this program to anyone who's looking to make a noticeable, visible physical transformation. You will be really hungry and really tired on your rest days if you're doing it right. That's my experience. I could barely move. I would say read the articles as thoroughly as you can, go on the forums, talk to the animal representatives, and get information. Really know what you're doing when you go in there, and check your ego at the door, because you're gonna lower weight. You're not gonna be doing anything close to what you would normally rep at first. At least at first, you're not. And so if anyone, if you get embarrassed by that kind of thing, just lift when no one else is there, because you will be dropping your poundages. I would say for anyone who's skeptical about actually working with these guys, and that will they, pay attention to me, and will they actually contribute time to my success in this program, they absolutely do. They got back to me every single time I had a question, and they would always answer relatively quickly. And they were very helpful, and Tom would post video explanations if we needed him to, and it really worked out pretty well.